All right, we have the next Haslab opening up right after one closes. That's right, the Marvel Legends Haslab Giant Man has debuted, and we're here to talk about it on Geek Dad Life 2. Everybody, hope you're having a great Friday night. I'm having a good night here in the Glatfelter household. We do movie nights, family movie nights on Friday. We just finished Hercules, which I hadn't seen that in a very long time. It's not my favorite, but it's one of Colleen's favorites, so you know. Everybody gets a choice, everybody gets a vote, and Colleen got to vote tonight because she's been recovering from COVID. But luckily she is feeling better. But I had to promise to give a shout out to my boys, Zachary and Alex. I don't know. They asked for a shout out in the stream as I was getting ready to go live. Let's say hello to the chat. It's hopping even on a Friday night impromptu stream on GDL2. We got Toy Geekosaurus here, Samuel, Make Mine Marvel, Jay's Toy Collection UK, Quip is in the house, Mecha Man Blade is here, Brian Brink. Nice and intimate here on the second channel. Exactly. Yes. Using GDL2 for community streams. Like there's things we want to talk about. Like new Haslabs, which for sure we're going to talk about on Toy Geeks this Sunday. But it's day one. Let's check in day one. Let's see how things are going. Get your thoughts here on the first day of the Haslab. Brad McGavin is here. Leonard Peaton is here. Angry Elf Brick something in the house. We got Make Mine Marvel. Stephen Lawrence is here. Jay-Z, Studio Henge. 1 a.m. in the UK. Whew, all right. Hey, listen, I admire the dedication. Let's see. Riley Bob is here. True 79. And I think that's about King Panther, Dartherian, Tony Taponi, Charlie Weaver, Jason, Toy Connections here. Woof the Wicked. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming to hang out and talk about this new Marvel Legends Haslab. Now, again, this is, they've kind of telegraphed their Haslabs ahead of time, right? Like, I feel like for the past few now, they've kind of primed their audience, so to speak, to kind of mentally prepare us for these Haslabs for a while now. And I got to be completely honest, I think this has been the prevailing theory that would be the next Marvel Legends Haslab. And it's not one that was like, oh my God, I'm going to need it if it happens. But I will say I was pleasantly surprised by how this thing turned out today. And personally, I think it's a fair price. Is it super cheap? Nope. But I think it's a fair price. And I think, the tiers that are included here are fun tiers, but they're not tiers where I'm like, I'm devastated if we don't hit them. It does have a high MOQ, right? So it's at $199, but it has that $10,000 backer level. But looking at day one, it's having a pretty solid debut for what amounts to, I don't want to say it's not a deep cut by any stretch of the imagination. This is Hank Pym, an iconic character, an iconic version of one of the characters that he portrays in the Marvel comics. So it's not a deep cut, but it's not, I wouldn't put it on the same caliber as a Sentinel or Galactus. Personally, maybe in the chat, maybe you can say I'm wrong, or in the comments if you're watching this later, you can say, Jay, you're an idiot. It's just as big. But for me personally, it doesn't have the same cachet. But I was talking to John about this earlier today, and like he pointed out then, the old Toy Biz one, or the last time we had a big giant man build a figure, that thing's selling for about $200 secondary market, and this one's bigger, better, for the same price. So I think I've already seen people griping about the price of this thing, and more power to you. If you think it's too expensive, then don't back it. That's fine. Nobody's gonna, or at least here in the Geek Dead Life side of things, not gonna fault you if you think this is too expensive. But for me personally, I think it is a fair price, especially it's a 24-inch figure. It's a big boy, and I think it looks really good. It looks really good in the stream earlier today as well. And yeah, the fingers look great. The hands look great. I think the price is pretty good. So let's hit into the chat. Let's see what you all are feeling about this thing. Let me know in the chat. How are we feeling? Does me feel this is a great deal? Does me feel like, oh, it's too much? I hate this thing. So let's see what your thoughts A Haslab, the price of a Titan class Transformer, crazy. Let's see. Jason says, I'm really surprised by this. Glad people are excited, but it seems very exciting of a choice. Or isn't, but if it seems, maybe you're saying it doesn't seem as exciting of a choice. Jay's Toy Collection UK says $199 I think is excellent for a figure of this size, so I backed it right away. Brick Something says, I think it's rad. The figure sculpt looks really, really nice. I would agree as well. Let's see. Although I'm not interested in classic Giant Man, I'm excited that this Haslab is $200. Agreed. Let's see. Sorry. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what you were saying, Jason. He's got the magic fingers. Pim has had so many costumes. I think that's the only thing that keeps him from being a exactly. I think he's had so many personas, right? It does take away from it a little bit. Still mad it wasn't a Thanos sculptor. I could see why that would upset you. Let's see. Most of the characters left that would be made into a Haslab are going to be more on the B-side list. That's very true. That's fair. And I don't want to say this guy's a B-list character, right? It's Hank Pym, but I think you're right. I think he's had a few different personas or has carried the mantle, a few different mantles, and it's not going to be as heavy of a hitter. So you're not an idiot, but a big old giant man is definitely iconic and important to many Marvel fans. Avengers are central to the universe, and this character is key. Well, there you go, Brick Something. Yeah, exactly. Obligatory if you don't like it. Exactly. Fair price. So glad Classic Wasp isn't a pack in. Yeah, and that's fair. I've seen some people say they wish that we had some figures as part of this, but honestly, I think this is the better move for collectors in general, where you're not paywalling essentially or tier blocking some iconic characters that people would prefer to be mainline, right? So yeah, I agree with Infinity War Torn here. So glad Classic Wasp isn't a pack-in, for sure. It looks great. Price is good. I think I prefer an MCU Giant Man to OG Comics, especially with those updated MCU heroes. It's a great point. I don't know. It's not one of those things where they got the tooling now, so they can do one. Maybe, but you can't really. The suit doesn't really match up. It won't really work that well. McFly, maybe similar sentiment here. My Marvel Legends collecting is mostly MCU based. So there's really no skin in the game. It's an easy pass for me, but if they do an MCU Haslab down the road, I'd probably back it then. Yeah, no, I get it. I completely get it. Good price, not for me. Not for me, but it looks like a well put together Haslab. There you go. I wanted a giant woman. Okay, Samuel. I'm a big Mondo collector, and they are $200 for a 12-inch, so $200 for double that size. That's a fair point. Now, again, Mondo is a smaller company. It's like 4 people running the toy side of things, and much smaller. Well, actually, I don't know. I would think it's much smaller than 10,000 units that this thing's going to be sold at. But it's a completely fair price or point, right? You're double the size for even less than that. So to me, yeah, I agree. I think it's a darn good price. Yeah, no Mephisto with this one. And it's part of the anniversary. Avengers absolutely, totally understand. Jason, just throw in a Paul Rudd. Yeah, it'll be fine. King Panther says, Jay, who would not want to be called Giant Man? I mean, come on, we can dream, right? I guess so. But I'm 5'9". I'm perfectly happy being an average man. So anywho, let's see. I still don't understand the function of the faceplates. Like, how do they swap? Well, I would assume it'll work similar to the other Haslabs that we've gotten so far. Like the Galactus, which I have him right here, Haslab Galactus, and the Haslab Sentinel, which he's right there. And the faces are well, at least with the Galactus, as I'm calling it, slightly rubbery. I mean, it's not super rubbery, but it's pliable to where you can kind of take it off and then reattach it on. So I think it'll work something like that, which I think is perfectly fine. The thing I do see being a little bit difficult on this is where the eyes are. Like how easy is it to pop out the eyes? That's a little bit different than what we've gotten so far. Thanos says, I think I'm over tiers and stretch goals. Yeah, 100%. Right. It's kind of what caused a little bit of divisiveness on the Haslab Ghost, right? even though that ended up clearing it easily. We'll take a look at that in a second. But and what's kind of cool is Brian Brink's initial projections of where it was going to end. That's about where it ended, around 21,000. So I'm 5'6", 5'9" is a giant man. No, it's not, Ken. I'm sure I'm just be a little bit taller than you. Let's see. Next year's HasLab will most likely be a large apocalypse. Yeah, I think, I'd be curious to see like how large, like, would you want a 24-inch apocalypse? I don't think I would, to be honest. Like a 12-inch apocalypse? Yes. 24-inch apocalypse? I don't know. Door relaxing. There we go. There's tall right there. 6'5". Wish I wasn't. Buying clothes is hard. I can only imagine. Alpha Magnus, why is Hasbro? Yeah, it's tall. Alpha's very tall in person. Like, there's pictures of the two of us, and he's like I go up to his waist, I think, standing next to him. See, John Garrett, I don't think anyone mentioned that they revealed all the tiers up front. That's a first for Marvel Legends Haslab. Well, I mean, let's call it as it is, right? The last Marvel Legends Haslab didn't go so well, right? The Engine of Vengeance, it was a vehicle and a smaller scale vehicle at that. Wasn't like a plus size vehicle, and it had a lot of tiers of figures that were kind of paywalled, right? But there were iconic figures that I think most Marvel Legends fans wanted, maybe even more than the car itself. But it had a high price tag, right? It didn't meet that equilibrium for collectors where, okay, it's stupid to spend this much money on toys, but it's a reasonable stupid, versus the Engine of Vengeance was $300, and the math didn't add up, right? And so and then of course, internet being the internet, it became really divisive, and people are picking sides and all that kind of crap, which was no fun. And it fell well. It didn't get backed, period. Fell well short of all of the tiers and goals that it had for it. And yeah, I think it was a bummer. So yeah, I think they've clearly listened to the fans, and I think the true fans that had gripes about it, right? People say, that on the extreme side, it's like HasLabs are evil and you should die if you buy one. But the fair critiques that it's a little too expensive. Didn't like you tying in all of these, characters we really want as figures into the success or failure of this HasLab. So this go around, they've raised the MOQ a bit, but they've lowered that entry level price compared to previous Marvel Legends HasLabs at $199.99, and they've made the tiers, fun if you get them, but it's not the end of the world if you miss them. And I think, honestly, they've I don't know. I don't see where, for just me personally looking at this, I don't see where they didn't listen to feedback and where they didn't really adjust this thing based on the feedback that they got last time. And so even though I'm seeing complaints about this thing, it is not the same. It is not the same as last time. Not even close, from my perspective. So yeah, I mean, I think you can compare this to the previous Giant Man. This thing's way bigger, better articulation, better paint apps, at $199. When if you would go to eBay, let's go on down to eBay. What should we put in? Giant Man Bath Toy Biz. And he wasn't no 24 inches. Just saying. Let's go to sold prices. Well, there you go. One sold for $90. There's quite $60. This one sold for $179. $149. That's missing a hand. Now, my assumption is the prices on these are going to go down because now you can get an even better one for, there you go. This one sold in August, complete $224.99 plus $20 shipping. And this one is significantly better. As much as I love Toy Biz Marvel Legends, loved buying them back in the day, we can all agree those Toy Biz Marvel Legend hands, while articulated, weren't so great. So the new, I think, yeah, I don't know. I think this thing through and through, there's no bones to pick against this Marvel Legends Haslab. So cool if you think it's the worst thing ever, but I think they did a really, really good job. They did a really, really good job. Let's see. It's the price of 4 basic Marvel Legends. That's fair. No. Is that what they're going for now? Going to be 8 Marvel Legends? Oh, there's $25? Be 8. Quip, I bet that buyer is pissed. But yeah. I go, face sculpts are really cool. 91 POA, agreed. Only a few hours and already about 30% back. We're going to take a look at the charts in a second. Being fair, the tiers shouldn't be why you buy the product. This to me is everything the Marvel Legend team says a HasLab should be. This one actually matches their definition of a HasLab. And I agree. So, I was to be honest, I was a little worried. Dan Yoon on Twitter yesterday gave a similar tweet in anticipation of this that he gave to the Engine of Vengeance, right? And even before the Engine of Vengeance was like, "Ugh, I don't. What are we trying to prime ourselves for here?" Basically, to the effect of, if you like it, great. If you don't, that's okay too. And I was like, "Ooh, are we gonna completely miss the mark on price here or something like that?" But once it was announced, I think it's a great offering. It's 24 inches tall, and it's $199. I think that's great. Let's see. Dan Larson had a great point. A Build-A-Fig is usually $120 at least and wouldn't be $24. Exactly. I think the scale of this thing is fantastic. And if you're going to come in at that $199 price point, you have your path to big ass figures, right? If you're Hasbro and the Marvel Legends team. If this does well. And I think the early numbers show it's doing pretty well. It's doing solidly. Maybe not quite as good as the Sentinel or the Galactus, but it looks like it's doing pretty good. Let's see. Jay says they got this one right. Get rid of an extra figure, tiers to focus on the figure, and hit the $199 price. Yep, agreed. Swear, sorry. Mecha Man Blade. So it's not including a cardboard building backdrop. Unfortunately, no. I think you have to bring your own cardboard building. So let's take a look at the charts. Let's see how it's doing. We've already got it updated on geekdadlife.com. I'll put a little link right here in the chat. Or you can just go to geekdadlife.com if you're watching this after the fact. And right there on the sidebar, we got our Brian Brink's charts. And the Cat Slayer, everybody, still going on. It's on there. But anyway, let's refresh and let's take a look and see how things are going day one for this HasLab. All right. So I asked Brian to add a line in this chart to track the Engine of Vengeance, right? And if you look at the charts and you can see the little red line, the red line is the Giant Man. It's actually trending similar to the Engine of Vengeance. So I don't think it's escaped that trajectory yet, but I do think the optics on this one are way better than the Engine of Vengeance. So I'm not as worried right now. Even though if you look at it, it's not doing as well as some of the other HasLabs day one. So you can see all these other lines right here. The green line is Dragonfly, which had a great day one. These are all 2023 HasLabs, by the way, aside from the Engine of Vengeance tracker there. So the green is Dragonfly. I'm sorry, and the Galactus and Sentinel are not 2023, but Sentinel is the blue line. And then we've got the purple line is the Galactus. And then we got where is it? The orange is the Ghost, right? The most recent one. And they all kind of follow similar trajectory. And even though this one is trending lower than every other one aside from the Engine of Vengeance, if it kind of hits, if it doesn't follow that Engine of Vengeance path, which if you look at it, kind of every other one has that big first day, kind of goes up and then goes up again. Engine of Vengeance is the outlier here. And I don't think this one will meet the Engine of Vengeance fate. I think this thing should, or at least on day one, looks like it's hitting or going in the right direction of being successfully backed. So I think it's a solid day one. Not slam dunk, home run, day one, everything's back, but it's a really solid day one. So yeah, I think overall really solid, especially when you consider that a Haslab just ended yesterday or the day before, 2 days ago. And it was not a cheap Haslab, it was a $500 Haslab. We've got we just had the G.I. Joe Haslab in before that. And we've got the Cat Slayer going on right now. I'll check that one out in a second. So the dollar is stretched, right? I kind of want to back one of these so I can have it to review on the channel. So we're for review purposes, but I may not have the budget for it right now. Just because I got to make sure. Well, one, the Ghost just charged to the card, right? For as same as a lot of us that backed it. And then I got to make sure I got enough moolah for the Cat Slayer. So anyway, that is as it stands now. Let's check out the Cat Slayer, just see how it's doing. Again, this one is just weird because you have to pay for it up front. It's pretty much flatlined. The deadline on that one is September 17th. So there's still time there. It's hard to tell with these, but I do think it at least gets the lab, and I still think it gets the Astral line. It's going to be funky. I think we'll see another big spike like we got on that first Friday post its launch that I think should take it over the Astral line. But it's a different beast altogether compared to the Giant Man Haslab. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let's get final thoughts from the chat. Yeah, plus the sewer layer. People that back that. I'm curious. That one's just so unique because we don't know how successful it was or it wasn't, right? Because it was kind of behind. It wasn't a public backer thing, right? So we didn't get to see it. And yeah, at $200 compared to a shoebox, it's a steal. It's a steal. Alpha Magnus, I look for a reasonably priced Cat Slayer for my son next year. Yeah, I love those memes. Thanos, I think it will hit the lab. I do think there's going to be a last day spike, right? For people that just, since you do get charged the second you order it, people are getting their finances in order before the last day of the Haslab. I'm sorry, the Cat Slayer. Good Lord. Ian, I agree. I think it is a great price for this. $200 feels good. It really does. And again, kudos, because listen, that one, the Marvel Legends team, like the marketing team, right? Ryan Ting, Dan Yoon, they put themselves out there, right? And they interact with the fans. And they don't have to do that, right? But they do. And they do care and they do listen to the feedback. And they also put up with a lot of crap, right? That I don't think any one of us in this chat or myself would want to deal with, that they put up with day to day to day. And they still approach their job with a passion, with drive, and with still a love for putting out cool toys and stuff like that. And I got to tell you, just put yourself in their shoes where they get the crap that they get all the time, and especially with the last Haslab. But to still come at it and still put themselves out there like Comic-Con, talk to the fans nonstop, and still take all that feedback that they got, and I think put all of it into this Haslab. I give them all the credit in the world. I really, really do. I think it's fair to critique a big corporation trying to make money. I think that's a totally fair critique. Have at it. But for the Marvel Legends team, they put up with a lot, and they still come to their job with a ton of passion, and clearly still able to make amazing things. So kudos to them. Jay-Z says base offering for Giant Man is excellent. I agree. For $199, I agree. Let's see, Snell's World. I want a matching Ant-Man as a stretch goal. You know, I saw that. I think friend of the channel, Mike Hex, messaged that on who's Instagram was? I'm blanking now. If Hex is watching, let me know. But I think why just have it be a regular release. I don't think you need to put it behind a paywall. Like, just have that be a regular release. So we'll see. But I think that's probably the better way to go about it. Scott, is Giant Man big? But thank you for the super chat, Snell's World. I do appreciate it. Let's see. Is Giant Man big enough to ride in the passenger seat? That could be helpful for y'all that live in areas that prioritize carpoolers. I mean, 24 inch is pretty big. So yeah. Make mine Marvel Legends, at least with all these crowd funds. It won't feel so long waiting for them to get made and arrive. If you order most of them, you'll get a new one come. I guess, but we're still waiting for the tank, right? His tank that was last summer. I think we're getting it this fall. But it's a fair point. Fair point. Yeah, Toy Geek Source, thumbs up for the team. Already spending too much on toys. Agreed. That's what she said. Here, fine, I'll give you one.
That's what she said.
My Fort Max is Fort Max is a big one. It's a big boy. Oh man. But anyways, yeah, really pumped for this. We'll talk about it more. We'll check in on it on Sunday on Toy Geeks. I know I said John was coming back this Sunday for Toy Geeks, but he talked to him today. He's actually going to be out of town on Sunday now, so he won't be able to make it. I believe him and Sue are getting a new puppy, so they're driving out of state to go get their new puppy. Sunday's his only day off, so that unfortunately means he won't be able to make Toy Geeks on Sunday. I'm super bummed about it. I'm sure you all be as well. But still want to be supportive to my friend and their family as they welcome a new puppy into their lives. But have no fear, Ryan Dole will be filling in for the great John this Sunday. Yeah, I'm sure Dole will have plenty of things to say about this. I'm in a couple chats with him, and he's having some fun with this Haslab. But anywho, who's John? We know John. He'll be back. He'll be back at some point. I don't want to like make any guarantees again. He'll be back when he's back. But yeah, new puppers joining John and Susan's life. Yeah, Canada to the rescue again. Indeed. So that'll be it. But yeah, let's do a poll before we close out. It's kind of becoming a built-in tradition here on GDL2. Let's see. Are you backing the Giant Man Haslab? Yes or no? Let your voices be heard. And smash the like button if you haven't smashed it yet. But yeah, putting a chat in or a poll in the chat. Let us know what you think on whether or not you're in on that. Dartherian, a Dulverine versus Saber J. I think the name is Jabertooth, but Saber J works too. A Haslab. Hey, why not? Why not? I don't know how we got to get those sculpts made of the Dulverine and the Jabertooth, but we got to make it happen. Maybe make it like a Jeffries exclusive or something like that. Oh man. But anywho, see, Johnson Marvel character. He wants exactly. He'll be back. We need to do. That's fair, Grizzlehorn. That's fair. It's a little too yes or no. Shocking, though, to be honest. With 44 votes in, 73% say no, and 26% say yes. Now, I think it's fair. Probably the GDL community maybe is not. Nah, I mean, I think we got enough Marvel Legends fans here. But I do find it fascinating that the current poll, at least who's watching this right now, is 110 people on a Friday night. For almost 50 people have voted, and yeah, 71% say no. Maybe I should have put a maybe in there. But yeah. So is Colleen Mystique? Maybe, I guess. Make my Marvel. I'd back a Dolverine and Jabertooth. There you go. What about John? I like to see the Geest. Jay-Z, Shaw Frost, half of the 73% are lying to themselves. LOL. Oh man. But yeah, Silver Fox. Yeah. But yeah, 30%. Okay, well, ending the poll. It's around 70%. I mean, Craig is definitely Cyclops. So Craig Clops, I think, for sure. For sure. Jean, I would think Abby would be more Jean Grey, right? With the red hair, right? Correlation there. Colleen, she could be a Mystique for sure. Or maybe a Rogue, right? Because Colleen she's a brunette. I don't know. I don't decide these things. It's not for me to decide. No, John Gray. Yeah, I'm curious to see how these votes are going down. Remember, Sunday's the last day to vote for the pick 2 on the next Mattel Creations Motu back. So we'll see. Oh, Kojonsis, right? Colossus. I like that. That works because, right, the old Toy Biz toy had the dumbbell to raise. That's pretty cool. Jason is never back to Haslab, period. Wow. Okay. Oh, this true make my, yeah, John would be Stulasis. Yep. Ooh, a Celestial. How big would that be? Like a true Celestial? But anyway, I think it's going to wrap it up. Hope everybody has a great Friday. We'll see you Sunday on Toy Geeks. Thanks for coming and hang out. If you're new to this, a lot of familiar faces here, but kind of just opening up GDL2 to be like, I don't know, random streams. Do you want to talk about anything? What's the big thing to talk about? Toys. Let's hang out, talk toys. So hit the subscribe and bell if you haven't yet. Hit the like button to help everyone find the channel. And yeah, we'll see. But again, kudos to the Hasbro team, Hasbro Marvel Legends team. I think this is a great Haslab. And I think it's gonna get backed. So everybody, have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on the back end of it on Sunday. And until next time, hasta luego and goodbye. Have a great night, everybody.